our screens, and that means the plane is going to be up next. Here it is, and this time leaning towards the western side of the map, from the north to the south, starting from Zarki and heading through, well, the military bridge, Primorska area, and going towards the western edge of the military island.
Exactly, as you did mention, the planned flight path, and now I do want to see, as we were talking about all its teams, right? So as we do see the plane fly path as well, all the way on the left side, so that means teams that do want to go on the right side of the entire map, they're definitely going to be struggling a bit. For example, teams like TDK. Now TDK, again, should be a free pathway. They like to drop kind of like a little split sometimes as well. In shooting range is Severny, Skylight's getting all the way towards Yasna Poliana. They will have to buy a decent amount of time in the early phase of the zone to actually go to their designated drop spot. On the other hand, though, we have Stalwart Esports. Now, they like to go all the way towards Nova Pnoy and talk about Stalwart Esports. My prediction and your prediction are first game is going to be a Stalwart Esports, and let's hope they're going to be able to replicate what we said.
But let's see what is going to happen. I mean, it all also comes down to where the circle will be. And it's going to be quite interesting to see exactly how this game turns out in the later stages. I8, again, I mean, their strat of dropping on Pochinki and starting from Pochinki has been working out quite nicely for them. But look at this, Phantom Esports against the players of Regicide. Yesterday's last year angle for Phantom Esports was just phenomenal. They were able to rack up those eliminations like it was nothing. But today, right now, in fact, Vaz is the man that Vexy has to finish, the door being open. Vexy being quite just runs completely through, but the players from Regicide are just surrounding him from every single direction. This is just going to be quite brutal, and Vexy is going to be taken. Fortunate, but it was something that he just had to go for a YOLO moment right in the start of the match.
Yeah, that's something they were not really eyeing out for fights. And Regicide, they're well known of what Slipknot's doing here too. Slipknot's giving away a lot of foot cues away, and that means Slipknot's position now being compromised. Nade's being rained down on top of the floor, but still no nade or no damage caught just yet. Insane is just going to straight up vault inside the building, hoping that he's probably going to keep their...
Something that they never expected was going to happen in the first game of the final day. But look at this, DRS starting quite early from Nova Pnoy. Well, towards the military island, but now they finally decide to cross to their standard position, which is of course going to be the Milta City. That is where they have been playing this entire time in this tournament, and it's going to be quite interesting to see what their interaction with Stalwart Esports is going to look like in the mid-game stages of this match.
Talk about the mid-game stages, I mean, DRS right here in front of our screens, and as you do see in the live rankings, currently DRS is sitting on 8th spot with 124 points in their pockets. Right underneath IHC with 128 points. Only 4 points separating these two. Again, we can never say how things are going to be looking like in the future pages, because I'm not going to lie, there's probably going to be a lot of pressure on teams like 52X Rage, Deadeye Skies, and even Skylights Gaming, because there were high expectations, and including IHC as well, high expected teams. We expected a lot of things, and these teams are not able to come true on those.
Well, let's see. For now, as you mentioned, 52X Rage, I think they are going to be quite upset with not even trying out for their usual drop spot, which was Stalba Kamenshki Hill, since that right now is a perfect position inside a circle like this in the early stages of the match. And this time they have to just play really far away from the circle, out in the open towards the western edges of the map. It is going to be quite interesting to see. I mean, it can put them in their comfort zone, because they always usually do like to play late with a later rotation in the early game stages. This is rotating with the second blue zone, but this time there's a massive cluster of teams right in front of them, starting off with Regicide. There's Phantom Esports, then there's the threat of IHC from the north, so it's going to be quite difficult for them to cross over, and I want to see what path do they take to make it happen.
Talk about the pathways. I mean, clearly there's a clutter of team right in the smack center of the zone. I mean, TDK as well, they're trying to center on up. And what just happened here? It's okay, we can ignore that. We can let it slide. But yeah, Deadeye Skies, they were trying to move around a bit. But TDK, as I said, they're also trying to center on up. So that means we're probably going to be seeing a lot of potential threat in the center of the map.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of action smack in the center. But as we did talk about TUF, it looks like there's going to be a slight collision with TUF and Train to Kill, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. For now, Regicide taking a few shots from the players of Phantom Esports, I believe, as Insane and his teammate have been spotted out, but Phantom Esports, they move on and disengage and fall to the other side of the hill. Now, Regicide, they are going to be a little bit confused about where the shots came from, but also relieved at the same time that whoever it was, they stopped and they left.
Talk about stopped and left, I mean, Phantom Esports already having a huge casualty on their side, right? 2 of the players got taken out. Unfortunately, the celebrity went with them, and things are not going that well, Johnny, even on the final day. Don't know what's going to be going through their minds right now, because there's probably going to be a lot of pressure surmounting, as we did talk about this. It's the final day, and Phantom Esports is currently sitting on the 11th spot. So that's something they will need to try and acknowledge, because every single game is as precious as time.
Well, definitely, it's going to be quite precious for them. And it is going to be quite intense as the day moves forward. One match ends, the next match begins. The clock is counting down from here on out, and they have to give their best in order to at least try and move up. Janmara, no fear, has in fact found the M249 quite early, and it is going to be a brilliant option for them in a circle like this that is leaning towards the northeastern part and the northern part of the map quite heavily. If the circle moves towards Severny or maybe to the hills just north of Rozhok, then it's going to be completely open area fights, and in a situation like that with the M249, you can in fact provide really nice suppressing fire to your teammates. But look at the live rankings, Necro. We do see switch ups already. Regicide, it looks like, have gained an additional point and moved up to the 12th position.
Exactly, and now we're also seeing the zone close in, Johnny. That means a lot of teams will now, that were in the outskirts, they will need to try and move on in, including High Voltage, and talk about High Voltage. At this point in time, we might as well just count them out, because no matter how they play in the final zones or in the final moments, there's going to be a lot of pressure on this team, man. They'll have to go YOLO and look at High Voltage. They're already challenging a lot of fights, sitting out in the open too. That's quite a lot of confidence. But YG is going to peek out from the same angle. Don't know if that's a good idea or not, but that's definitely quite a lot of confidence that's peeking up. High Voltage, they do want to take these elimination points. They do want to get engaged in these battles. But on the other hand, we have Freestyle just spraying down the weakle in the front. No connections found, but still Seal. They're going to be quite safe for now.
Yeah, just fight happening just a little bit towards the southwest of Pochinki, and Seal Esports, Freestyle, both out in the open, but Baron with the high ground can in fact relay quite a lot of information for his teammates. But how useful is this going to be for them? We are about to find out. All 4 players from the side of Seal Esports huddled up together. Freestyle, they are a little bit further away from each other, but still in position from where it is going to be quite easy for them to provide a little bit of a cover fire. But Wally from the flank does see the back of Tyrant and does manage to connect a few shots on the opposition, but not enough to secure a knock.
Tyrant is still safe for now. It's finally going to be sitting inside the vehicle, and now going to try to book it inside the zone. That's quite a risky one too. Seal, they're trying their best to spray the man down, but still no casualties yet. Tyrant is going to be safe for now. He's trying to make it towards his teammates. The next zone's closed in, and the next circle is actually going to center on up, Johnny.
Well, still between Rozhok, Yasnaya, and Severny. Train to kill. They are going to find quite a lot of safety from their position. They have sent Sandesh, on the high ground right there. And it's going to be quite interesting to see what sort of information will they be able to gather. But the surprise for Train to Kill, it's going to be the fact that the players from Regicide have in fact managed to take control of the northern edge of the circle and will be moving south in a few short moments. So it can surprise the players of Train to Kill and make them, put them in a position from where they might just get caught off guard. But let's see, only time will tell what the team's decision is going to be. But for now, Seal Esports, Leo and Demo, their rotation has been delayed. They are stuck in images on their health bars, and they can in fact stay quite safe using bandages and a little bit of boosters.
Talk about the boosters. I mean, Freestyle, they currently have a good spot on top of the players of Seal. They're also inside the zone. They're trying to gatekeep the players of Seal. Malik was a little bit...
Tournaments, you have bad runs in tournaments. It has to be just...
It's a huge shout out to them. A lot of opportunities, and still, I mean, they made a place in our hearts, but now after that, the downfall as well has been quite insane, Johnny. all the way just falling down in ninth spot. If I'm not wrong, they were in like top 3 in the day one, and now they're all the way
Yeah.
in the ninth spot. That's a huge fall.
Yeah, that definitely is, and especially for the team that is the champion of PMPL Pakistan. I mean, we were expecting quite a lot of great things for them, but hey, let's not forget, it's their first time at a stage this massive. It's their first time playing against these teams, and so it was going to be an uphill battle for them, and it's not like they're the worst performing team right now. They did put up quite a decent performance on day number 1. Day number 2 and day number 3 did not really work out for them. The northern side of the river and Train to Kill, smack in the center of things, will also be in the center of all the attention in a few short moments. But hey, I hear gunfire, and that means someone has been taken out somewhere. High Voltage losing out on Assassin as Deadeyes. Guys, start pulling on the trigger. It is a 4v2 situation in these compounds. Vadu and Extreme stuck in the middle of nowhere. Deadeyes applying a lot of pressure upon them.
The pressure's indeed there. All 4 players in the front, and now High Voltage has decided to enter the enemy territory. There are also some are down line paying the price for that. Assassin, a big man, has already been taken out, so that's a huge threat neutralized for the players at Deadeyes. Guys, on the other hand, even Shifu surge damaged quite a bit. He's going to be able to patch himself up, but still it's a 2-on, or still it's a 3-on-4 situation. High Voltage, they're in a clear disadvantage, but they're still trying to fight it out. They still want to control. They still want a piece of this compound, but now finally the call's being made to actually eject from this compound. It doesn't make any sense to battle it out, because this battle has to be a downhill battle for you.
Well, yeah, it is definitely going to be quite tough, but quite a brilliant move from High Voltage. All of a sudden, as they somehow figured out a way to back off, and Deadeyes guys decide to not press their advantage.